Hi, this is Kathie with Craft with Kathie. Thanks for joining me this evening. I hope everyone's had a great start to the week. I am going to be using this transfer called Dog Cat in Charge. We take it out of its little wrapper and show you it. It's really cute, and I'm going to be using it with the drop-in box frame. If you're not familiar with the drop-in box frame, I will show you it in a moment. It's really cool. It's fairly new. It has a little slot on top and slots all around the edges, and it comes with 3 of these double-sided chalk suede boards that fit right in the slot and allow you to do a design on each side, and it holds 3 of them, so you could actually have one on each side and then another one in the middle just for storage. So they're really cool, and the refills are only like, I think $5 for 3 of them, something like that. So it's a really cool little surface to use and display, and of course you could display it horizontally, or figure out which way I'm going here, vertically or horizontally. I'm a little turned around tonight. What can I say? I'm coming at you from the suburbs west of Chicago. Drop me a line. Let me know where you're viewing from. I need to take this out because, of course, I'm going to be using it. Give me a moment to share this with my VIP group. If you are not my VIP group but would like to be privy to additional videos, tips, tricks, and the occasional game or two, just comment VIP and I will send you the link. So, in case I haven't said, this is Kathie from Craft with Kathie. Thanks for joining me. Drop me a line. Let me know where you're watching from tonight. I'm going to jump right in on this. This is the transfer. It's called Dog Cat in Charge. Multi-pieces. And I just realized I don't have my fuzzing cloth. Boy, that seems to be my thing lately. I'm going to cut out the main image and get started with that, and then I'll talk about a little bit about the rest of them and some other things that are going on. So I'm just going to use my transfer trimmers here to cut this portion out. And I like my transfer trimmers because they have an extra long blade, but they're also like silicone coated or whatever, so that they don't stick to the adhesive of our transfers. Our transfers, think of them kind of like as stencils on steroids. They are adhesive backed, reusable. They're made out of vinyl. The teal is the vinyl. What you're seeing as white is you're actually seeing through the silk screen to the backer. And I'm going to use this on my chalk suede. And being that I didn't bring my fuzzing cloth, I'm looking for anything. I don't even have a towel here. Quickly, I'm going to fuzz this on my jeans. Now, being that I am using it on chalk suede paper, technically paper, I'm going to fuzz this quite a few times. There's 3. Probably would be better off fuzzing it on my shirt. I'm wearing a sweater in academia, so I think I'll just fuzz it on my shirt. That's a little bit quicker. The idea behind fuzzing is you want to deliberately apply lint to the surface of the transfer, to the adhesive portion of the transfer, so that it doesn't stick quite as snugly. So that's what I've done, because our transfers can be used on wood, paper, glass, metal, mirror, ceramic, fabric, just about anything you can think of. And we do have different recommendations for fuzzing depending upon what the surface is. If you are going on a very, very smooth surface, I need to fuzz this more. This is sticking way too strongly. If you're going to be putting on a very smooth surface like glass or mirror or metal, you want to fuzz quite a bit, because any non-porous smooth surface, it'll stick to much more snugly. And we don't want, you want a snug fit, but you don't want any issues when you go to lift it up. You don't want it to pull or tug. Hi, Deb. I am making a little sign from the transfer called Dog, Cat in Charge. Perfect for a home where the pets rule the roost. Or at least think they do. My little girl is starting to get like that all of a sudden. It's where she's always been kind of quiet and shy. All of a sudden she thinks that she's calling the shots around here. Most times she probably is. Oh, I just picked up a hair on the back of this. Let me get that off of there. And I've got a little piece of fuzz, probably from my sweater on here that I don't want. I don't want it interfering with the silk screen portion. I think that's fine. Okay. So I've just smoothed this down, and I'm going to use our Forest Shimmer Paste. Now, how did that go crooked? I swear I had it straight. The bottom looks crooked. Let me lift it up and try it again. Just kind of eyeballing here. If you're ever not sure, you could, of course, always measure. That's what I get for fuzzing it on my shirt. I swear I have multiple fuzzing cloths. Why I don't have any out here right now is beyond my comprehension, but whatever. I'm sorry. I'm still having a bit of vertigo, which has been very, very challenging for me. I'm definitely following up with the doctor this week because this has been crazy. But I realize I'm having a problem lining things up because my balance is so off. I think this is straight. I'm going to run with it anyway. Okay, so I've got this applied, and I'm going to use my Forest Shimmer. I think it's Forest Shimmer here. Shimmer, well, I'm close. Not really. Shimmer Spruce. Hello, Shimmer Spruce. It's a dark green, kind of like a forest. What can I say? And a little squeegee, and I'm just going to apply this chalk paste over my transfer. Want to make sure that I stay on the transfer, though I don't want to accidentally go off of the transfer onto the surface, you know, onto my surface below it. And this is one of our newer transfers from our new vendor. It's a little bit more translucent than our regular transfers or our older transfers used to be, and it makes it really nice. Cleanup is easier, and they've just been a real pleasure to use. So I'm just smoothing this out, pushing it through the silk screen, removing any lines, make sure I've got everything covered, pick up the excess, and put the excess back in the jar. And I'm going to end up having a little speckle there because I did go off the edge. That's okay. If that happens, you roll with it. Happy accidents, like Bob Ross used to say, right? And we'll figure out something. Maybe we'll just speckle it. Okay, so let me lift this up. I'm going to just lift the corner. You never want to lift them from the corner. You could use the corner to gain purchase to the middle, but always lift from the top, the bottom, the left, or the right. There we go. I'm not going to touch that little speckle. I'll probably add speckles deliberately just to whatever. I probably just sprayed it a little bit too hard when I went over with the transfer. So I'm going to set this aside to dry and cut apart the rest of my transfer. Let me kind of get my stir stick out of here and close this up until I go back to use it. Now, here is the full transfer, the other pieces to the transfer. As you can see, there's the word dog, there was the word cat, There's a smaller image of a dog and cat. There's a bone, a fish, some paw prints here. Perfect for canines or cats. I can't think of another. Canines or felines. Oh my goodness, what could I say? Anyway, let me cut these apart because I'm going to be adding to the base. And I was trying to think of what I wanted to combine color-wise with this, and I was trying to think of, I'm going to do it for a dog, but I was trying to think of what color I wanted the dog, and I basically decided I'm just going with shimmer gold. I think that'll be a nice accent to the shimmer spruce. And I think I'm going to use the smaller image of the dog. I'm not going to use the paw prints or the bone or the fish right now. So let me set them aside. The cat. We're back to below normal temps. Go figure. It was 82 Saturday. Yesterday it was in the 40s. Today we woke up to snow covering everything. Trees blossom outside and it's covered with snow. It's like, okay, it's April. What's going on here? Just been how things have been. Just normal craziness with the weather around here. Now these cardboard inserts are made out of something called chalk suede. We do have them available in our regular chalk suede for like invitations and envelopes or cards, and also in a 12 by 12 inch sheet of chalk suede. But these are a little bit different. If you could kind of even see in here, bring it up a little bit closer to the camera. These are just kind of stuck together on me. I'm sure it's just static. There we go. But you could kind of see a layer of cardboard in between, which makes them a little bit sturdier, thicker. There we go. So they're a little bit harder. They're not like paper. The other or regular chalk suede is kind of like more like a cardstock, a little bit more sturdy than cardstock. But these are nice and rigid, and you can use them, of course, in our drop-in frame, or you could put them in our little mini board and bases and they'll stand up in there, or you could put them in a picture frame. There's lots of different ways that you could use the inserts without even buying the frame if you so want to do that. Let me kind of see. Our chalk paste normally takes about 5 minutes to dry. Our shimmer's about 8 minutes. And I'm pretty sure I've got the dryer right here plugged in. I'm just going to see if I can reach it. It's kind of a short cord. Let's see if I can get it to reach. Yeah, it's just a little bit too short to reach on camera. So excuse me while I'm off drying this. You do not want to use chalk paint or any kind of paint with your transfers because it will be difficult to remove it from the silk screen. And our transfers are reusable 8 to 12 times or more as long as they've been cleaned properly. You want to always make sure you get the chalk paste out of the mesh of the silk screen. Easy to do. Run it over to the sink. If you have a spray, so much the better. Hit it with the spray. Whether you have a spray or not, it always helps to use our board erasers. We'll take the paste off real easy. I always use it on the non-adhesive side, and then I wash the top surface off with a disinfecting wipe, flip it over, and clean the chalk paste off of the adhesive side. And that's pretty much it. Then set it aside to dry with the sticky side up. So I'm going to use the word dog here, And again, I'm going to fuzz this on myself because somehow my fuzzing cloth walked away. And I want to fuzz a little bit more than normal because this is on paper. Our transfers will stick very snugly to paper, and you don't want them to stick where they would actually pull up the paper or stick so much that when you try and remove them that they stretch or pull or curl up. Because you obviously want to be able to use your transfers, get as much use as you can out of them. Okay, let's see. I'm going to put dog right here. This looks straight to me again, but there I go with the vertigo. Oh my goodness, this is awful. Fortunately, I've never had to deal with anything like this, and it's been a little challenging. Okay, so I already have my gold chalk paste here ready to go. Grab it a little bit. I'm just going to apply it to my transfer. I want to make sure I do not go off the edge. Cover up my lettering. Out. Remove the excess paste. Put the excess paste back in the jar. And then what I'm thinking is I'd like to add a little image of the dog down here, but I'm going to have to get this to dry. So excuse me again, I'm sorry that I should have grabbed an extension cord for this. Let me give this a little dry with my quick dry tool. And you'll see your paste will change color a little bit, and the shimmers get a little bit shinier once they're dry. So let me take the little image of the dog. Whoops. Dog, cat, this is the dog. I think I have to look at it right side. Okay. And let me fuzz this also. Let's get this little dog lined up in here. It's crooked. Okay, I think that's better. Yep, there we go. And I'm going to use my, oh no, it looks crooked, doesn't it? I'm going to use my multi-tool in here to get a little bit, it's a little tinier of an area. Okay, I'm lining up against one of my lines to make sure that I do have it straight. There we go. And I've got the dog's head right underneath the D, so let me bring that down just about 1/4 of an inch or so. I'll line up against this line again. I think that's fine. Grab my multi-tool. Just use this little squeegee on the end. Oh, I really grabbed way too much paste. I don't need that much. But this will make quick work of the dog here. Smooth it out. Remove the excess. I want to make sure I have the paws and the nose and the tail and everything covered. And there we go. The dog is in charge. What do you think? I'm going to give you a quick little way of cleaning a transfer when you don't have a sink available. I'm going to put this aside to dry for a moment, and get a look. Let me grab my other transfer. I've got them attached to the table here. Let me give it a little bit of a spritz of water. Sorry, I had to find my spray bottle. So if I don't have access to a sink, you know, if you've got a little tub by you, a tub or a little cookie sheet basin will work fine. I usually spray the adhesive side just because it's a habit of mine. I'm using one of our mats, but sometimes I use a glass mat. Now, our transfers won't stick to our mat, but they would stick to a glass mat. So just as a matter of habit, I'm used to rinsing or wetting the backside. Then I'm going to wet my board eraser and watch how quickly the paste comes off of this transfer. I'm going to grab this one at the same time. Why not do all of them, right? I mean, it doesn't really take long to clean your transfers. Easy enough to do. And the board eraser is good at eliminating any staining that you might get from our deeper colored pigments, like if you're using black or a brown or a deep purple or something. Sometimes it could actually stain the teal portion of the transfer, but that in no way impacts its usability. It just doesn't look as pretty, but it's still, our transfers are usable 8 to 12 times or more. So now I'm taking a little disinfecting wipe, making sure I don't have any more chalk paste on the top of it. I need to clean my mat a little bit here too. So, okay, flip it over, flip all 3 of these over. Got a little gold chalk paste here, let me clean that up. And then go over the back. Remove all your chalk paste. I usually try and use a little bit of a circular motion to do that. This one's skating away on me. And then once you get all the paste off of it, then I go back and I remove the lint that I deliberately applied. Let me clean the back of all these first, and then I'll remove the lint because I think I'm going to have a fair amount of paste on my disinfecting wipe. And this one has a lot of lint because I fuzzed it on my sweater after fuzzing it on my jeans, so I have to work a little bit harder getting the lint off. Once you remove the lint, it restores the adhesiveness of the transfer. You can see all the dark fuzzies from my sweater on here. Okay, so we've got all the paste off. Let me grab a clean wipe and go back over and remove the lint from each of these. And that's all there is to really cleaning your transfers. Once you have the lint off them, I usually go in like one direction. Then I will put this sticky side up on a flat surface to dry. Move this out of the way, set it there to dry. And once it's dry, then I will put the backing on it, back on it. And I always want to take the shiny side of the backing and apply it to the sticky side of the transfer. Never try applying the transfer to the backing, always the backing to the sticky side. And then I'll put it back in its little cellophane envelope and put it away. That's really all there is to cleaning and maintaining your transfers. It's easy peasy. So let me just get the fuzz off these little ones here and then set them aside to dry too. Then we'll take a look and put our little design in the box frame, and you can see how it looks as a finished item. These are light and they're skating away from me. Just want to make sure I get all the lint off. There we go. Okay, let me put this aside to dry. Get my jackers out of the way. Clean up my surface a little bit and show you what we're looking at. Now I have that little speckle here, and I wasn't sure if it was going to be hidden in the frame or not. What I could do once I know it's dry is I could use my detail tool and just try scraping it off, and it might just lift totally off and be fine. Or I could go back in with maybe a toothbrush or just my little a stir stick and just kind of speckle it a little bit. I'm going to probably just try removing it, which that got part of it off. It didn't seem like it was quite dry, so I'll let that sit a little bit and then probably go back in it. Our chalk suede actually, I'll show you this. Our chalk suede actually, if you catch something quick, you can remove it. And I like using these little Swispers. Let me try removing it even though this is partially dried. I'm going to grab a little bit of water and the edge of my Swisper. It's just a little wet. There we go. It's kind of the nice thing with the chalk suede. Now our paste is removable, of course, off of glass and mirror and metal and chalkboard. And how did I just get some more paste on here? I sure did. But off of regular paper, no. Our chalk suede, yes. In a lot of circumstances, obviously the higher or the more deeply pigmented, most likely a little bit more difficult to remove. So another benefit of the chalk suede, and like I said, these 3 inserts are relatively inexpensive. Each drop-in box frame comes with 3 inserts, but you could also buy the refills, and you don't have to have the frame to buy the refills. So it's kind of a nice way of creating something economically and playing around if you want. Just kind of try out chalk and see what you think. If anyone is interested in a sample, let me know and I could put together some little sample kits at a very nominal price. Oh goodness, it's only Monday and I can't talk. What am I going to do? Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I surely do appreciate it. See you soon.